Guys, this is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for my live review of Monday Night Raw, the October 9th, 2017 edition. As always, we're going to take a look back at what happened on this night's episode of Raw, which was kind of a back and forth show. There were some good moments on the show. There were some, moments that I didn't really care about. Of course, the biggest story tonight, though, is the reunion of the Shield. They reunited in the place where they were born, the place where they descended, and now they're back together again. So what are my thoughts on the Shield getting back together? I'll get to it as I am. Actually, I'll probably save it more so towards the end of the show to talk about what I thought of the Shield reuniting in tonight's episode. We kicked things off after we had just a little montage of what happened at the end of the show last week. Came out to Miz TV, which ended up being just another episode of the Mizzies, which, it's all right to me. Not really the biggest hit, but it's not too bad. But the Miz gave out awards to Curtis Axel for Perseverance, and then he also gave awards for the supporting actors to Cesaro and Sheamus, who would then go on to brag about beating down the Shield. And Cesaro even went as far as thanking him for knocking his teeth into his jaw because he had not as an excuse to keep beating them up. And then out came Roman Reigns. And, Roman pretty much says, I'm going to give you just a couple seconds for you to clear out of my ring. And then Miz says how you're not going to do anything because there's 4 of you and there's only 1 of you. Something like that. Why don't we want to do? Go back and grab your buddies like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, because the rumors have been that the Shield are going to be reuniting. And then Roman just says, we talk about rumors. And the crowd, I wouldn't say, erupted that big, but got a reaction out of them. And out hit Dean Ambrose's music. And then moments later, Seth Rollins. And they came out to the ring and pretty much said, hey, we're back together, boys. So they come out, they beat down Axel, Cesaro and Sheamus, and then the Miz tries to escape, but he's cornered by the Shield, who he goes into the ring, and then Ambrose hits him with the dirty deeds, and then they hit a triple power bomb on the Miz, pretty much just wrapping up and doing the triple fist bump for the first time since reuniting. And then we get, that's pretty much how the Shield reunited. So again, I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video, since that was pretty much the biggest hit of the night. But the Shield are back together, and then it'll be later announced that at first is going to be a tag team match between the 3 of them, the Shield, versus Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus. And yes, TNQ Partner was a crazy Raw, kind of going back and forth, but still had some fun moments. We then had a match. It was Jason Jordan versus Carl Anderson. Jason Jordan and Matt Hardy have kind of been teaming up with each other ever since Jeff Hardy went down with an injury. So it's like there was like a temporary alliance, and I guess, I don't know why they keep fighting with Gallows and Anderson. They'll just call everybody nerds. That's it. So, a decent singles match between Jordan and Anderson. I believe Jordan was the one who picked up the win as he should have been. Yep. And then following that, we had another match between Elias Sampson and Apollo Crews. Before that, we had Samson coming out wanting to sing a song and asking, of course, who wants to walk with Elias? And then Titus O'Neil comes out playing this banjo, pretty much just mocking Elias Sampson as Titus is just trying to hype up Apollo Crews coming out for the match. I didn't really care for too much. I like both Apollo Crews and Elias. But personally, it's like they fought enough already. Elias beat Titus last week. He beat Apollo on the pre-show for No Mercy and for the Raw afterwards as well. So it's like, why are these guys still fighting? Elias pretty much got the upper hand on them already. So there's no point in keep fighting. So that was a little bit of a low point in this show, in my honest opinion. We then had Enzo Amore come out. Now, when he was coming out, I'm thinking, oh, wow, so I guess we're not going to be getting Enzo in the main event again for the third week in a row. I jinxed myself big time. He came out, and he pretty much said he just wanted an explanation as to, why Kurt would sign Kalisto, even though they signed that whole clause a few weeks ago about if any superstar puts his hand on me, they will not get a title shot. And then he also said last week, if they put their hands on me, then they will be fired. So they already don't have title shots. Then the next step is for them to be fired. But Kurt comes out and pretty much says, that was before I signed Kalisto, which was introduced on the 205 roster last week. He's ready to do some lucha things on 205 Live. One of my favorite botches with Kalisto going, I'm ready to do some lucha things. That was one of my favorite botches, as I said before. When Titus was signing with the banjo, my neighbor's dogs were howling. That's classic. I wish I would have been there to hear that. That probably would have been pretty funny. But yeah, so Kurt pretty much insists that he will be getting his title shot. Kalisto will get his title shot at TLC, but then Angle after we're talking, Angle changed his mind, decides we're going to do this match tonight. We're going to have it early. He says, and it's like, fine, but it has to be in the main event. He's like, done deal. But then as Enzo's leaving, says, oh, Kurt's like, oh, by the way, one more thing though, Enzo, to ensure you're not going to try to sneak out and lose the championship. Regaining the title the easiest way and your championship advantage, taking that away and thinking, okay, we're going to get a whole thing where if Enzo gets disqualified or whatnot, then he's going to lose the title. But then he says it'll be a lumberjack match. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting. All the cruiserweights, surrounding the ring, and they're all not happy about Enzo winning. Well, we should get a pretty good match. I'm all for that. And it's the main event as well. So I'm like, okay, well, it's third week in a row, but whatever. And Enzo's been a good heel champion as recently on the mic, so I'm completely fine with that. And then we had a match. It was a pretty decent match. It was Matt Hardy taking on Braun Strowman, and I kept thinking to myself, oh, what if Braun Strowman breaks Matt Hardy? And the match, I guess I said was pretty good between them. Matt got some good offense in on Braun. There was a moment where Matt actually did seem like he had Braun in the palm of his hands. He had to twist a fade on him. The ref didn't even count the one, and Braun kicked out and would then hit the running power slam on Matt, and then would get the victory. But afterwards, he's Mr. I'm not finished with you. He picks up Matt. It looks like he's about to take him and slam him through the stage. But who comes walking out yet again? The Shield. This time, when they came out before, they were in their own separate, singles competitor shirts. Then they come out this time with these new Shield shirts. So I'm like, all right. I mean, they're not too bad. Maybe I'll put an order for one of them since I never really got a Shield shirt. It's like just something different. But they come out, and recently they've had some issues with Braun Strowman. Roman and Braun feuded for most of this year, and then recently, Ambrose stepped up to whenever Braun won a competition, and Rollins went after him next. So he's kind of a common enemy, and and Braun tries to outdo all three of them, so he goes to beat them down. But then they beat him down instead, and they pulled off hitting a triple power bomb on Braun through a table. So, feelings aside, I mean, I'll get to how I feel about this reunion. I still thought this was pretty cool. The triple power bomb of Braun Strowman through the announce table, that was still pretty cool. Which then led to a backstage segment with with the Shield being asked, what causing you guys together? It says, we decided we just want to do what we love to do best, and that's destroy things, and destroy people like we used to do and whatnot. We're having a blast, so that was cool to see. Whatever. And then we had another promo with Mickie James coming out, and she just pretty much talks about how when she first came to Monday Night Raw, she just felt like she didn't really fit in anybody. She felt like irrelevant, which she pretty much was. I mean, like, she was not being booked properly as well. And then she says, and there's one person I feel like I should blame this, and that's Alexa Bliss. Talk about how she's just all talk. She's the only person that age actually matters to her. Because Alexa keeps, just picking on Mickie, saying how old she is and such, and everybody else is really young compared to her. And she said, biscuit butts. And she said, but the only number, age is just a number, not just a number to me. It's nothing, anything spectacular. But the main number for me is the number 7. I want to be a 7-time women's champion. And she's saying that Alexa comes out and pretty much says, Mickie, I am so sorry. Just to make it up to you, I made a tribute video this past weekend for you. And it was, at first I'm thinking, oh gosh, don't tell me we're going to do another This Is Your Life Bayley segment, which again, to this day, I still haven't watched it, but I'm thinking, we're going to get another, crappy segment of like, revealing this, and that because of Alexa Bliss trying to do such. And I am just like, oh gosh, because I've actually enjoyed the build for this feud so far with the promos. Because again, like, not having Mickie James like really being relevant for a while, and all of a sudden they're doing something with her. But the promos she's cutting, it's like they're awesome. Like, what were you waiting for? Pretty much, like, why did you have this? Why did you bring her back, not do anything with her for months and such? But anyways, the tribute video was just kind of like an old timers video, like the aesthetics and such of discussing, but it was emphasizing like how old Mickey's like, from like, an earlier era and such, pretty much just implying, Mickie, you're yesterday's news, now, you don't fit in with this. And then that just causing them to go at each other again. And, Mickey's like, I'm for my old age, I haven't such a tough time here, but can you come down to the ring and we'll deal this here? And Alexa, hesitates, and then she walks down to the ring, and then she says, sorry, not doing this now, and turns around to walk away. And then Mickie just gets down there. They have another little brawl, wow. And and she tries to do the Mick kick on her, but then Alexa escapes and she walks away. I personally still would like to see this match get a stipulation to it. If it was a being TLC, I like to see this a ladder match. So maybe we'll get that stipulation added because, Mickie talked about how Alexa seems to walk away sometimes. Well, she's not going to walk away so easy with that championship if it's hung above a ladder, which I think would make perfect sense because right now, we only have, the Shields match, which is a TLC match. We probably have a rematch with Kalisto and Enzo. Well, getting a little too far, but we're probably going to have that match at TLC as well. And what else? We have Asuka's debut, but it's like that's the only stipulation match we have. I know sometimes it's not a good time to overload stipulations, but I think this feud in general could be worthy of a ladder match as well. So we'll have to see what happens down the line. And thanks for the endorsement as well. Tia and Couponer. So then we get to Kurt Angle backstage, and he's talking with Bayley and Sasha, and then Emma, Dana Brooke, who I was like, whoa, Dana Brooke, where have you been? When was the last time we've seen Dana Brooke on TV? I can't remember the last time I've seen her on TV. But it was just Emma, Dana, Alicia Fox, Bayley, and Sasha Banks all stating cases why they wanted to be the one to face Asuka in her debut. And also surprising, I remember you pointed out on Twitter, Tia and Couponer, that Nia Jax wasn't there tonight, which is true. I'm not sure why. But Kurt set up a fatal 5-way elimination match, and the winner would face Asuka at TLC, which we'll get to that in a little bit. So either way, whoever it was most likely going to lose. And then we had this a tag match. It's been a while since we had like more than just one cruiserweight segment, but we had a tag match. It was Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali taking on the team of the Brian Kendrick and Gentleman Jack Gallagher, which I don't know why I still call him Gentleman since he turned heel, but it's fresh, it's new. But I haven't paid attention much to 205 Live. But this was match just, kind of, well, it's kind of bothered me a little bit was that, if they're not going to be doing much with these stories, I know there's stuff going on um on 205 Live. But if 205 Live is not being watched by the regular viewer, then why are they just throwing us in there? And people are probably confused, like, wait, why is Gallagher teaming up with the Brian Kendrick? Like, isn't he to face? Like, I kind of wish they would have he did kind of show a recap what happened last week, but show what happens more recently because I really haven't been seeing much of this being advertised on Raw at all, in my opinion, because not everybody watches the WWE Network. But this match between Alexander, Ali, and Kendrick and Gallagher was all right. It wasn't anything too spectacular. It was just showing that we that this showcasing this new teaming between Kendrick and Gallagher wasn't too bad. They pick up the victory after not Gallagher. Kendrick hits sliced bread number 2 to get the victory. I don't know if these two will get a cruiserweight title match down the line or whatnot. We'll have to wait and see. Nothing really too spectacular, but it was all right. And then we get this promo. This promo. This was an automatic turnoff, and now I'm not looking forward to seeing what goes on next because I have no interest at all. Finn Balor goes out to the ring saying how, Bray Wyatt can say whatever he wants. He just wants to get attention, blah, blah, blah. But no matter what, Bray, you need to realize I'm not afraid of you. And then, Bray's Titantron thing hits. And then Bray, first is just his chair. And then he says up and starts talking that Sister Abigail is here. And then he transforms into Sister Abigail. It's Bray Wyatt trying to dress like a creepy-looking psychopathic woman or whatever heck it is. And she was given this speech, how, Bray learns from me, blah, 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 and all this. But this whole promo, I'm just like, what is this? I thought we were going to have an actual Sister Abigail character, not Bray Wyatt being dressed up as a woman. So I'm thinking, so basically, Bray's trying to get even with Finn with, Finn having his, alter ego as the demon. So now Bray's trying to have Sister Abigail. So pretty much we're saying Finn's going to be fighting a woman at TLC. It didn't make sense. It was kind of a turn off to me, and I just didn't really quite enjoy it. And I'm just getting really tired of this feud. It's just dragged on for way too long. I really wish they would have gone with my friend Robbie at One Kenobi's idea, with having Bray trying to transform Finn into a monster and then perform a double turn eventually. But it doesn't seem we're going to be going that direction. Yeah, Sister Abigail versus the demon. It's just very odd. I don't know what was worse, that or Santino Marella dressing up as a lady being Santina Marella fighting Vicky Guerrero in a hog pen match. Just a random thought. That was stupid as well, but that was that. And then we had another backstage interview about the Shield. The Miz at first was upset that Kurt Angle made this match, and he's like, "Oh, you're giving them opportunities for their things that they did wrong, like attacking me and blah blah blah." But then he wanted to talk to Kurt because Dean said something in that promo earlier about when they were asked about why the show decided to get back together, and he's like, "Well, Dean mentioned he can take on 4 or 5 people, take on as many people as you want at once." So we decided I want to add another tag team partner because Dean said so himself. And then Kurt's like, fine, who is it? This person. And the door just flat out opened, and it was Braun Strowman. So now at TLC, it's going to be a 4-on-3 TLC match. The Shield versus the team of The Miz, The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. Should be a classic, but again, I'll give you my full thoughts on the Shield reunion at the end of this video. So that was like, huh? All right, that's kind of crazy, but oh well. And then Finn Balor talked about was interviewed backstage also, talking about how, he says, Bray Wyatt's done all he could, and I kept saying I wasn't afraid of him, but tonight he did something even weirder, and I just don't know what the heck is wrong with him. But I know I have to do walks away. Either way, again, I'm just done. I don't really care. And then we had the Fatal 5-Way. Again, it was Dana Brooks, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Emma, and Alicia Fox. And the winner is going to face Asuka in her main roster debut at TLC. This match just felt really rushed. I didn't really feel like I had time to really, get into it. I just remember eliminations were Dana Brooke was eliminated by Bayley. There was tension again teased between Bayley and Sasha Banks. This tag each other was like, hey, it's just woman on woman. It's every woman for herself. But yes, Bayley eliminated Dana, and then Alicia Fox, I'm sorry, I yawn, eliminated Bayley with a scissor kick. I didn't really like that because, again, I'm not really a big Alicia Fox fan. The match went on. There was times where Alicia and Emma were trying to team up again, but there's still tension after Emma walked out on her last week. And Emma was kind of like that one who just like hung out on the side and let people just, slowly eliminate the other. And she just like barely did anything really in this match just to, get what she wanted. But eventually Sasha got Alicia to tap out in the bank statement, which the tap out was weak. It looked like she was just, placing her hands on her arms. It didn't look like an actual tap. It wasn't a convincing tap out to me. It looked weird. And as soon as she did that, Emma just blatantly rolled up Sasha for the win. It just seemed kind of flat. Like it didn't seem like it was a real victory. It looked like it was like Sasha handed it to Emma. I mean, I predicted that it was going to be Emma facing Asuka at TLC, but just the way she won it wasn't really too convincing me. So I felt the match was rushed. It just did not feel legit. And yeah, Bayley was eliminated quickly. So I mean, I really was wondering, if since Bayley was eliminated so early, because there have been rumors about, one of these Sasha or Bayley turning heel. I was wondering maybe that might play into effect into why Bayley was eliminated so early. With the tease tension here and there, you may never know. But we'll see what happens down the line. We then had Kalisto being interviewed backstage. No, he didn't botch and say lucha things. He got talk about guys who inspired him. Rey Mysterio, the late Eddie Guerrero, and then he says, I want to, he wants to pretty much, just do their honor and win this match for them. And then it was announced that next week, that it will be Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns taking on each other in a steel cage match. That match should be good. And then we have our main event. It was Enzo Amore versus Kalisto in a cruiserweight title match. It was a lumberjack match. It was surrounded by lumberjacks, but not all the cruiserweights are out there. I noticed Neville wasn't out there. Was Drew Gulak out there? I don't think he was either. No Graham Metalik, no Lince Dorado. Not all of them were out there, but it was like 6 heels and 6 baby faces or whatnot. I'm not sure. I mean, it did seem like when they did show, the advertisement for the match, it showed probably almost all the cruiserweights, but it looked like there was like a heck of a lot more heels than baby faces. The match, I didn't really expect an actual wrestling match out of it because of, how they're booking Enzo as being, this guy who, doesn't want to defend the title and just just doing whatever just cheating his way into getting the title. And which, I mean, it's working. I mean, I know I wasn't a fan of it at No Mercy, but it has worked out really well. And I mean, it has developed a new character for Enzo. But the only thing I didn't like about this match was it didn't quite make sense to me that the heels were somehow in favor of Enzo, because personally, I thought that everybody was upset about Enzo winning the title. I didn't think Enzo really hadn't had any friends really in the division, if you know what I mean. And that kind of confused me a little because sometimes wherever Enzo would step out of the ring and and like he'd be standing next to Kendrick and Gallagher, and they wouldn't do anything about it. And when Kalisto came out, they would beat him down. So to me, it didn't quite make sense, like storyline wise, how they just went back and forth and didn't even bother. They weren't all teaming up on Enzo. It just didn't make sense to me, honestly. But again, the match was what it was, to the fact that Enzo was trying to avoid being losing his title. He was just trying to get out of it. I noticed before the match started, when Enzo was doing another promo, Noam Dar was standing out in the corner. I noticed him going like this. Of course, all people with him do it, but I just noticed him doing it. But then but the match went on. There was a spot too, where the lumberjacks start brawling, because that's what has to happen in a lumberjack match. Of course, they all got to a brawl, and then I was really surprised. I really thought Enzo would try to escape because of that, but he stick around and wanted to fight. And then I think Kalisto did this really sick-looking superplex and knocked all the cruiserweights down. I thought that was a pretty cool moment to watch as well. I mean, one of the best moves in the match. Oh, hi, Carter Palmer. They're just there watching in person. You saw a decent show tonight with some good spots in it. I hope you had a good time there. And then I think there was one time where Enzo did hit that finisher he's been using, like when he does that kick to the side of the face that just it drives in there and just sets the opponent down and pins him. I think Kalisto grabbed the rope, and then Kalisto would then pick up some offense on Enzo finally, and he hit the Selena del Sol, and Kalisto is your new cruiserweight champion. So I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I was thinking maybe they should have waited till TLC. They're going to do this just to have the story of Enzo pretty much having the cruiserweight division on lockdown, and having Kalisto be the savior. But because the thing is if Big Cass is not going to be back until middle next year with his knee injury, then if Enzo's not champion, then what are they going to do with him? They're going to keep him in the cruiserweight division. I mean, him pulling these heel tactics has helped him in some ways. It makes sense. They've booked us not to like Enzo, so why not have him a heel anyways? It's just it's just not rushed, and to having Enzo at the top briefly and have nothing to do for him to do until Big Cass comes back. Because I think that if since Enzo's proven that he can still have success by himself, that'll make Big Cass hopefully get back together. And even if they don't get the tag titles, have Big Cass get a singles title or whatnot, and Enzo's his partner pretty much, helping them get to there. We could possibly see that happening. But that's pretty much it for the show itself. Now, as far as my thoughts about the Shield reunion, it is kind of mixed. I mean, here's the thing. I posted on Twitter that either way, because tonight things were happening, I felt you saw a lot of the Shield, which somewhat to me felt like, okay, they're being reintroduced again. These guys that just do what they used to do. Go out there all the time, just make statements and beat people down. That's what they did at the beginning of the show. That's what they did when they did the Braun Strowman. Their interview backstage as well. The shirts, not too bad. It's just there's things happening. I'm like, yay, this is awesome. Then because I still have that mindset that, again, they're only doing this because they just wanted to make the fans like Roman Reigns. Personally, I still think they'll do this whole thing with the Shield, but once Roman goes back to being by himself, they're not. It's not going to make that much of a difference. They're going to be okay. Back to this. We're not going to be rooting for Roman by himself. I mean, I don't know if you can get a lot of mileage out of a Shield reunion right now. There really isn't anybody you can put them up against besides just throwing together a random pair like The Miz, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. Well, let's start off first with how the reunion started tonight. Roman came out again, pretty much said the thing about the about how you guys need to get out of the ring, and then The Miz said, what we're going to do, go back and get Dean and Seth, blah, 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 because of the rumors about the Shield reuniting is what we mean rumors. That's when they came out and started the thing. I personally was getting a little annoyed the fact that past couple weeks, like, they announced, saying there's been rumors buzzing around for are the Shield, it's the Shield getting back together, which, I mean, you know, Roman was asked about here and there, but it's like, you know, they're off doing their own thing. I'm doing my thing right now, pretty much. But I didn't like how they kind of bring, like, the internet, social media, just talk about these rumors where it wasn't being teased too much about it on TV itself. I feel like it was only brought in because people, like fans and like social media, were teasing it, and that kind of bothers me just a little bit because I'm like, okay, I'm trying to enjoy this. You know, I love the Shield, but I just don't want my feelings about Roman Reigns' singles push to get in the way of this. And then and Deluxe Man posted a video about his thoughts on it. Well, he brought up the fact that, Roman used to have this gimmick where this line of him saying one versus all. Like, do you think like Roman was all right with, taking out, Miz, Sheamus, and Cesaro? Because, I think he could have, he thinks Deluxe Man thought that he could have done it by himself. I mean, I understand, like, the last thing they established that they all have a kind of like a common enemy, and like, maybe Sheamus and Cesaro attacking Roman kind of provoked it, but they could have done a little bit more. Just Roman walking out and saying, "What do you mean rumors?" And they just walk out just like that. It's like, it just felt like they just, like, cross paths, or like, yeah, we have a common enemy, let's all go get them. It felt like, okay, maybe it could be something to do with that, like Roman, coming out on Miz TV, and then they're attacking him, and then Dean and Seth come out because they have issues with, Cesaro and Sheamus, and that could maybe cause like something like, cause them to get back together, not just them just walking out and whatnot. I do think it could be a very crazy and exciting main event at TLC though, between Reigns. I mean, of course, the Shield versus the team of Miz, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. It's just, I'm starting to wonder why we have to have 4-on-3 against them. Because personally, the only thing I don't like about this match is the fact that you have two of your champions, well, your tag champions and your Intercontinental Championship, not being defended in the pay-per-view. Like, what else is there going to be any meaning to watch this pay-per-view besides that match? I mean, again, I'm looking forward to Mickie James and Alexa. Yes, there's Asuka debuting, but what else really is there? Like, to me personally, if they're going to get Braun Strowman involved anyway in this match, why not just have, Braun Strowman versus Cesaro and Sheamus? Because, the Miz already has his Miz-tourage, and they were already teasing it. Dallas wasn't there tonight, by the way. It was just Axel. So, like, if they're going to do just a if get the Miz involved, like, why not say, oh, maybe I was expecting the Miz finds, Sheamus and Cesaro more valuable and could have just kicked, Axel and Dallas to the curb, which I don't want them to go back to doing nothing, but they weren't doing much anyway either, as the Miz Tourage, in my honest opinion. TN Couponer in the live chat says, I like to see Styles in the club versus the Shield when Styles and Reigns had their matches. Yeah, that is true. That would have been that. It would have worked because that's when the club felt relevant. And then when the brand split happened, they split them up, and now the club is a bunch of trash. Which that could have been an ideal match for the Shield. Again, I mean, I'm glad like there's not. It's always, I'm glad though that they're not doing like the Shield versus the Miz trash, because again, it would just be a squash match personally. But it's like, why is Axel, and shouldn't like Axel and Dallas be upset that the Miz is counting on Cesaro and Sheamus more, and bringing Braun Strowman, which yes, standing against Dean's word, but to me, like, having 4-on-3 is going back to what CM Punk had to do in his 3-on-1 handicap match. You got to make Roman look really strong. It's just like I'm mixed about, because I like it. I mean, there's a Shield coming out and doing their old business, like, brought back a lot of memories for me, and I enjoyed it. But again, I still have that thought in the back of my head that they're only doing this just to try to put over Roman, and that's not what I want to see. I want it to be about just the three of them in general, not just Roman. That's how I feel about it. So, but I'm trying to enjoy it while it lasts. See where it goes. I don't want to say it's a complete dump yet, but I just don't want it to be just just all about Roman looking good. My personal thoughts on the Shield reunion. That is it, guys. What are your thoughts on the Shield reunion? What's the thoughts on Raw tonight? Did you like it or not? Before we go off the air, as always, let me just check the polls on Twitter. just to see what grades you would give for Raw tonight. Come on, Twitter load. Only 3 votes. 33% said A, 67% said B. So we got 1 A and 2 B so far on my Twitter poll. So I thought it was an enjoyable show for the most part. They had some good moments, but there was some stuff that was kind of low, like the Jordan and Anderson match was all right, but and doesn't really not going to do anything for either one of them. The Cruz and the Elias Sampson match, it was glad Elias got another win, but I don't know why the guys kept fighting. The Fatal 5-Way felt a little bit rushed. We still had some good on this show. Sister Abigail thing kind of took me out of it a little bit. I'm going to give Raw a C+ for this week. Solid show, above average. Had some stuff that I didn't like, but had some stuff I did like in it. So that's why I will give it a solid C+ for this week. TN Couponer said you voted B. That's cool. It was still a good show, though. Again, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Carter Palmer in the live chat, thank you for participating in this as well. So that is it, guys, for my live review of Monday Night Raw. I'll be back up here live again, hopefully tomorrow night. T. Coupon says, who would make a good Sister Abigail? Who would? Maybe Ruby Riott. Nikki Cross, I don't know, because I heard she has so much more to offer for Sanity. I heard rumors of maybe Paige, but I'm not too sure. I haven't seen much of her, but I heard rumors of Sage Beckett also, or maybe somebody from the Mae Young Classic. But rather see an actual woman do it than just Bray Wyatt dressed up as a woman, because to me it doesn't feel any different than Santino Marella being Santina Marella. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But again, give me your thoughts on Raw, your thoughts down in the comment section below. Please make sure to click that like and subscribe button for more content to come on this channel. Make sure also to follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. If you haven't yet, also check out my Hell in a Cell review. I did a Turner video on Sami Zayn turning heel at Hell in a Cell as well. Again, I'll probably be watching WrestleMania 4 sometime tomorrow, hopefully. I'll be reviewing SmackDown Live tomorrow night, hopefully NXT on Wednesday night. I want to try to do my next takeover or printed match card this week as well. So that is it, guys. Thank you for tuning in this live review. TN Couponer and Carter Palmer as well. And with that, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go clean up and then go to bed. Until then, guys, have a great night. Peace.